Hey everyone, so I'm a startup founder and CTO in London, and now that I spend all of my time at home, I've had to make a lot of changes to my daily routine. It took me a while, but I think I've managed to get something pretty good, and hopefully it's something that I can stick to. This video will give you a few insights into some of the things that I do to stay healthy and productive in quarantine. So my morning doesn't start off with that annoying, hideous iPhone alarm sound that many of us have become used to. I compare that thing to the Demogorgon in Stranger Things. It's the last thing I want to see, but it's especially the last thing I want to hear in the morning. Instead, I wake up to a fairly low sound alarm by my Google Home, and it's quite cool because it also turns on my lights quite softly, so it means I don't blind myself as soon as I open my eyes. I find that not having the alarm on my phone is pretty neat because it means I won't check WhatsApp notifications or scroll on Instagram for half an hour to an hour first thing in the morning. Instead, I stroll to the bathroom like a zombie and I quickly move on to cleaning my teeth and washing my face. Nothing new there. But one thing that you can probably tell is that I've got the Google Home set up here and I've programmed it to automatically play a podcast in the morning. So right now I'm currently listening to a really good one by Peter Attia, who's interviewing Mike Trevino. He's an ultra endurance athlete and entrepreneur, and he's actually got a very crazy way of celebrating his birthday, and I'll play that for you now.
But let's start with a funny story, which is what'd you do for your birthday this year?
I ran.
So how old did you turn?
43 in December.
And what is your shtick on your birthday?
Starting at 40, the new goal became run my miles in years and miles. So this year was 43 miles.
I then move on to the kitchen where I kick off a unsurprising coffee routine, which I imagine has become quite cliche, but hear me out. I'm a startup founder and I spend a lot of my time in meetings talking about investments, our company's vision, strategy, goals, and outside of that I also have a lot of my fitness goals. This has almost become a morning ritual for me where it's become an automaticity. Essentially, it's a routine where there's little to no thinking because I've done it so many times, and there within that comes a sense of peace. This is 5 minutes in an otherwise hectic day, and Sam Harris talks a lot about this in one of his podcasts about mindfulness. I then spend the next 10 or so minutes relaxing, looking outside the window, and then going on to checking my notifications and replying to comments on my YouTube videos because I am a nice guy. Once I'm done with all of that, I usually get ready for a run. I usually run on every other day, and today is the other day. Now before lockdown, I used to go gym 3 days a week, but running is definitely something that has become a big part of my life. It got me from looking like this to now looking like this. Unfortunately, it's been one of those things that I've continued or been able to continue in lockdown. I'm now working towards my personal goal of getting a six-pack, and that's not the easiest thing to do in lockdown, but I'm vlogging my whole journey on Instagram, so follow me on there to see how that goes. Once I'm finished with my run, I quickly freshen up and then I get ready to start the workday, and that usually begins with a stand-up. A stand-up is quite a common thing that happens with most engineering teams as well as startups in the morning, where basically everyone in the team talks about what they did the day before and what they're planning to work on today and any bottlenecks that they faced along the way. In this stand-up, we're all giving our update about a very exciting feature that we're all pushing out on Scoodle, which is introducing video for educators on our platform. It's something that we're all very excited about, and our educators on the platform right now are very excited about too. Once I'm finished with that, my work begins, and today is a lot of engineering research to figure out the best way for us to be able to store videos on our platform to allow educators to upload those videos and then to allow students to stream those videos. Now before lockdown I used to meal prep, but given that I'm at home more, I have a bit of extra time, so now I cook my meals fresh. Here I'm making masala spiced fish with fried eggs topped with chili flakes and some buttery veg. As you can tell, I love cooking food, talking about food, and of course eating food, and that probably explains how I got so big in the first place. Then it's back to work, and the rest of my day is spent in meetings about investments, and then another meeting about our marketing strategy for how we push out video content and its awareness to our educators on the platform. So once the day is wrapped up, I then move on to my evening, which involves quite a bit of home workout. I signed up to this program called Lift 4 by BeachBody. BeachBody are probably the world's #1 place for home workout programs, and fun fact, they actually got 1 million subscriptions last month, so that just goes to show how important fitness is for many in this quarantine. Now this particular program requires dumbbells, and I actually wrote a Python program to find and buy me dumbbells during lockdown because they were sold out everywhere. I'm going to make a video about that, so do subscribe if you haven't already and you want to see how I did that. Each workout is usually between 30 to 45 minutes. It's split between weightlifting weightlifting and high intensity training, and this is my 27th day, and I've actually been time-lapsing every single workout on my Instagram so that one day I can look back on this diary and not feel like I was a complete waste man during lockdown. Once I'm finished with the workout, I then go on to dinner, which tends to be quite large, but I have got something quite interesting here. It's cauliflower rice. Cauliflower rice is surprisingly quite tasty and it's a great way to lose weight. So I'm having that with some chicken that my sister gave me the other day. Now at this point, as you can imagine, I'm not the best person to be around. So I solve that by going to the bathroom and either having a cold bath or a cold shower. And then I move on to the living room where I start winding down for the rest of the evening. I usually relax a bit on my Mac, catching up on things, including figuring out what next few YouTube videos I want to make. If you do have any ideas, do let me know in the comments below. And of course, if you haven't already, please do give this video a like. Now, one of the things that I love doing is honestly reading. And at the moment, I'm reading a lot about personal finance and investments. This particular book is called A Random Walk Down Wall Street. It was recommended to me by a friend and it was written by a former Princeton economist. And essentially, he's giving a historical account of stock markets. And I think this is an area that I'm definitely interested in. And I think it's going to be important for the next couple of years, as I believe we're heading into a recession. I then finish up by catching up with family and friends on the phone because there's no excuses in lockdown, and then I head off to bed, and either that involves a bit more YouTube binging or scrolling on social media until I fall asleep. So that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it gave you a good insight into some of the things that I do as a startup founder to stay productive in lockdown. I'd love to know what you do to stay productive, so do let me know one or two things in the comments below. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.